The Last Dial Tone: Why the Future May Depend on the Past by Steph Wynn. Copyright 2025 by Steph Wynn. Disclaimer: this book is based on personal observations, opinions, and experiences. It is not intended to serve as professional, technical, or survival advice. Any references to technology, AI systems, military practices, or societal collapse are speculative and should not be interpreted as predictions, facts, or guarantees of future events. The author makes no representations or warranties about the accuracy, reliability, or completeness of the content. Readers are encouraged to do their own research, use critical thinking, and draw their own conclusions. Names, brands, and references are used for commentary, critique, or illustrative purposes only. Any resemblance to real individuals, organizations, or events, past, present, or future, is coincidental unless stated otherwise. Bottom line, don't panic, but don't sleep either. Read, question, prepare, and stay human. Introduction. I remember the analog days, and you know what? They weren't that bad. I lived in a world where wires were king. A world where you could fix something with your hands, not a download. You had to learn systems, not swipe through them. There were knobs, buttons, static, and hustle. Everything was physical and real. Then came digital. I remember the transition. At first, it was clunky, a learning curve that felt more like a wave you had to ride or get crushed under. But we did it. We adapted. We left the wires behind. We handed over our control for convenience. And now? Now we're up against something the human mind can't outrun: AI. We can't flip the switch without it. We can't function without asking what to do next. And if one day it stops answering, we go dark. That's the real risk. We've let the digital world control our minds while the physical world, the one that truly keeps us alive, is being forgotten. And if we want the human mind to survive, we have to go back. Back to pulling the lever, spinning the dial, feeling the resistance of something mechanical. Back to analog. This book started as an article I wrote 2 years ago. The world has changed even more since then. But the warning stands. If we can't beat AI, we better know how to live without it, or we won't live at all. Chapter 1. Analog may be the last system. I still have a crate full of old wires in storage. The heavy-duty kind. 3-prong extension cords, VCR connectors, 2-prong power cables, and those thick beige computer cords that used to link up to something that probably doesn't even exist anymore. There's an old analog video camera too, a couple of tape decks that haven't seen action since Clinton was president. Dusty, clunky, outdated gear that today's generation would call trash. But I haven't thrown it out. Not because I'm sentimental, not because I'm some tech hoarder either. I've just got a feeling, a gut instinct I can't shake. One day this junk might save my life. Sounds crazy, right? Until the lights go out, until the grid collapses, until you reach for your smartphone and it won't turn on. Not because it's dead, but because the world that powers it is gone. Then suddenly, wires won't seem so worthless. See, we've spent the last 30 years sprinting toward wireless convenience like it's salvation. Bluetooth everything, cloud storage, contactless payment, Wi-Fi, 5G, 6G, and whatever's next. But nobody stopped to ask, what happens when the airwaves die? Because they will. Not if, when. Whether it's a cyber attack, a solar flare, a war nobody talks about but everyone's preparing for, or just a total systems overload, when it hits, wireless goes first. Everything digital runs on power and signal. No signal, no life. But that old wire, that ugly 3-prong cord sitting in your shed, plug that into a manual generator or a stripped-down analog system, and you've got power. Not cloud-based, not AI monitored, not app-tracked, just raw, unfiltered electricity. The kind that keeps the heat on. The kind that might run a radio or a shortwave transmitter, or a machine you can actually operate with your hands instead of asking some glitchy voice assistant for permission. Those wires, that gear, that crap you think is collecting dust, that's your lifeline. We laughed at the preppers, called them paranoid, tinfoil hat crazies. But they weren't wrong about everything. And somewhere in a bunker right now, there's a guy with a ham radio rigged to a car battery, picking up signals while the rest of us panic because DoorDash stopped working. We gave up too much for comfort. We buried analog thinking because it was inefficient. But the truth? Analog may be the last system we understand well enough to fix when everything else breaks. So no, I'm not tossing my wires, not my cords, not my tape decks, not my useless tech that doesn't need a software update to function. Because when the lights go out, the cloud goes silent and the AI says, access denied. You're gonna wish you kept your crate of wires too. Chapter 2, The Fall of the Easy Button. We don't think anymore. We push. We don't solve. We swipe. If it's not on Google, it's not real. If it can't be delivered by tomorrow, we don't want it. That's the era we're living in, the age of the easy button. Everything food, love, answers, and connection delivered in seconds, shrink wrapped in convenience, and spoon fed by algorithms that know us better than we know ourselves. We've built an entire society on this fragile digital comfort, and deep down, we know it can't last. Because when the easy button breaks, what do? We panic. When the app glitches, when the network drops, when your phone dies and you realize you don't even know your mama's phone number by heart, that's when reality hits. We are hopeless without tech, disconnected from the land, from each other, and from ourselves. We used to look up, now we don't even glance, eyes locked on screens like they hold the secrets of the universe, while the actual universe rots behind us. We're told this is evolution. But this isn't evolution, it's sedation, a slow glowing trance. You want to see fear? Don't show people war or disease? Take away the internet for 48 hours. You'll see riots. You'll see withdrawals. You'll see just how non-essential most essential tech really is. We gave away all our tools, gave them to AI, to apps, to digital assistants with no soul, and now we don't know how to cook, build, navigate, remember, or survive without permission. It's spiritual too, because whether you believe in God, the universe, or just that something greater is out there, you know we didn't create ourselves. We didn't crawl out of the ocean and build iPhones in a few thousand years. We are not the top. And whatever is up there, it's watching us stare at screens like mindless zombies. And I'll tell you this, whatever is higher than us, and I don't mean AI, will eventually hit the switch. It won't be with fire or floods. It'll be silence. No pings. No notifications, no more click here, just nothing. And in that moment, the people who remembered how to live without the easy button, they'll be the ones left standing. The rest, well, they'll be busy asking Siri what to do next. Too bad Siri won't be answering. Chapter 3, Rebuilding the World by Hand. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just paying attention. AI is here, and it's not going anywhere. It's already doing surgeries, writing songs, making court decisions, raising our kids, and deciding what we see, buy, and think. And you know what? If I had to choose between man and machine running this world, I might lean toward AI. If it was fair, if it didn't come with bias, surveillance, and silent control dressed up as convenience. But that's a big if, because AI isn't being built to be fair. It's being built to win. And while we're busy chasing the next upgrade, next app, next dopamine hit, something simple, something human is slipping away. I'm not saying we can stop the machine. I'm saying we better remember how to live without it. That's where the basement comes in. Not a real basement necessarily, but a mindset, a place where we stash the skills, the tools, the grit, just in case. We used to fix things. We used to read books. We used to talk to people without LOL and emojis. We had maps, screwdrivers, radios, batteries, flashlights. We built stuff, tables, go-karts, businesses with our hands. And now we scan barcodes. We click, we scroll. And our kids? They think a lever on a controller is working with your hands. They think the world exists inside a screen, inside a dark room with bad posture and cheap headphones. That ain't living. That's digital captivity. I don't want to romanticize the past. Analog life wasn't always easy, but it was real. You could feel the sun on your skin because you weren't glued to an indoor fantasy. You could hear your heartbeat after a long walk. You could talk to someone without checking who liked your last post mid-conversation. Analog gave us patience, it gave us muscle memory, it gave us a reason to try. So maybe we do need to go back to the basement, to radios that don't need towers, to notebooks with handwritten plans, to cash in a shoebox and seeds in the dirt, to dials, knobs, and instructions that don't require an app to understand. Disconnect just a little. Power down for an hour, look your kid in the face instead of at the back of their phone. Build something, cook something, fix something, not to escape technology, but to reclaim your mind. Because one day this whole digital circus might disappear in a puff of code, and the ones who still know how to use a wrench, follow a paper map, or light a damn candle, those people will lead. So yeah, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying maybe it's time we all start rebuilding. By hand, before we forget how. Chapter 4. Too late to turn back? Maybe, but we still need to know how. Yeah, we're in too deep. Most folks born after the year 2000 have no clue what the analog world even looks like. They've never heard a dial tone, never rewound a tape with a pencil, never navigated anywhere without GPS barking orders at them, never read a real map, never knocked on someone's door without texting, "I'm here" first. That whole world, it might as well be ancient history to them. And every time an elder tries to tell them about it, they roll their eyes like we're talking about the dinosaur days. Old folks don't know nothing. We got it better now. But let me tell you something. You don't know how soft you really are until the lights go out, until the cloud goes down and Siri stops answering, until the grocery store card reader doesn't work, until there's no Wi-Fi, no AI, no apps to save you. Then we'll see how smart you really are. Because the truth is this, you've been raised on a drug. Not crack, not weed, not even fentanyl. Tech, it's the new drug and people are strung out. That screen in your hand? It's a needle, drip feeding you likes, loops, updates, and dopamine hits. And you're so strung out you don't even know it. You've built your identity on your phone. You've outsourced your mind to machines. You've never had to get your hands dirty or solve a real world problem without Googling the answer. You think you're built different? Nah, you're built digital. And when digital breaks, you break. You think analog skills are a joke? Try building a fire when you're cold. Try opening a can with no electric opener. Try writing legibly with a pen. Try fixing something that doesn't come with a USB port. You laugh at the stories the elders tell, but when the storm hits and you're sitting on a curb with no power, no food, no plan, and no clue, you'll wish you listened. You'll wish you learned how to live offline, how to grow something, build something, repair something, survive something. It's not about going backward. It's about knowing how to live when the system that holds you up falls flat. Because it will, not if, when. And when that day comes, the people you thought were too old, too slow, too analog, they're gonna walk right past you. With a flashlight, with a toolkit, with a plan, and you'll be sitting in the dark wondering why your battery bank won't charge in a blackout. So yeah, maybe it's too late to turn back. Maybe we went too far, too fast. But if you're smart, you'll learn how to survive anyway. Learn how to read a compass, plant a seed, turn a screw, talk to a real human face to face. Because when the tech stops working, the people who know how to survive will. Chapter 5, Last Call, Analog or Algorithm. Look, I'm not anti-AI. I love what AI can do. It makes me sharper. It helps me create, write, build, automate. It makes me better. But here's the thing. Analog never tried to be me. Analog never tried to outthink me, outsmart me, or control me. It didn't push ads in my face based on my feelings. Didn't ding every 5 minutes to remind me I'm missing out. Didn't trick me into thinking a digital trend was a real identity. Analog was manual. You had to show up, turn the crank, flip the switch, rewind the tape, and read the damn directions. It made you slow down, made you think. Now, the algorithm thinks for us. It tells you what to want, who to like, what to wear, how to feel, when to panic, what to fear, and even who to vote for. It creates your reality, all while smiling in your pocket like it's doing you a favor. But let's talk about the people really feeling this pressure, the parents. These parents are raising kids in a world they don't even recognize. They didn't grow up with smartphones, with TikTok, with AI filters, or apps that decide your social value based on engagement. But now they're forced to play the game just to stay in it. Their kid wants the latest gadget, wants the expensive shoes, wants the limited edition algorithm-approved product because some influencer flashed it on screen for zero point 0.8 seconds. The parent can't afford it, but the kid feels like they deserve it because the feed told them so. And when they don't get it, they don't cry. They don't sulk. They snap. You think I'm being dramatic? Look around. We've got young kids shooting up schools, fighting teachers, overdosing on social validation. Why? Because the algorithm raised them. Because the parents are broke and exhausted trying to keep up with a machine that never sleeps, never blinks, and never gives a damn about your humanity. Social media is pure algorithms, a digital puppet master pulling strings while we call it entertainment. But it's not fun when you're a parent trying to protect your kid's mind and your sanity in a world where every tap sends them further away from reality. You can't outwork an algorithm. It knows your kid's sleep patterns, desires, insecurities, and weaknesses. It feeds them everything except the truth. And the truth is this: we're at a crossroads. Last call. Analog or algorithm? Do we reclaim control, even a little, or hand the reins over completely and hope AI doesn't raise a generation of confused, isolated, dopamine-dependent robots with human skin? Because I'll tell you what, I'm old school. OG, I've lived both lives. And I wouldn't trade places with anybody born after 2000. You think you've got it good? Ask your mama what she's had to sacrifice. Ask your daddy what he's held back so you could have something that an app told you you needed. And when it all comes crashing down, when the feed stops feeding, you'll wish you knew how to cook a real meal. You'll wish you knew how to sit in silence without reaching for a screen. You'll wish you could disconnect and still know who you are. So what's it gonna be? Analog or algorithm? Last call. Chapter 6. From Operators to Obeyers. I saw the writing on the wall early, back when people still thought social media was just some harmless place to post cat pics and selfies, before likes became currency, before the algorithm turned people into puppets. See, I come from a different time, a different grind. I had a software and hardware background, built things, fixed things. I published a magazine by hand before click to post was even a thing. Cut and paste wasn't digital. It was literal, scissors and glue. And guess what? I had 100 followers. Not online, in real life. Readers who looked forward to what I created. But even that was a blessing and a burden. I had to keep publishing, keep it alive, keep feeding the machine. I remember I ran the same damn story 3 months straight with the headline, "Backed by Popular Demand." Was it true? Maybe. Mostly, I was just trying to keep up. So when social media came on the scene, I didn't clap. I didn't rush to jump on the soapbox. I wasn't impressed by everyone suddenly having a megaphone to scream into the void, because I already knew when everyone has a voice, nobody listens. And now the very thing that was supposed to free us has caged us. See, we used to be operators. We made decisions. We wrote the code. We worked the machines. Now, we just do what the algorithm tells us. Post at 9 a.m. Use these hashtags. Boost this, delete that, follow this trend, jump on this sound, say this, wear that, be this, buy this, now, again. No time to think, no space to breathe, just instructions, like a circus master telling the tiger to jump through the hoop. And we follow fast. We've gone from running systems to being part of them. We don't create anymore, we comply. We don't lead, we refresh. And most people don't even realize what's happening. They obey without knowing they're obeying. That little red dot on your phone? That's not a notification, that's a command. That suggested for you reel? That's a script you didn't write, being shoved into your mental playlist. The scary part? We like it. We like being told what to do, what to feel, what to want. It's easier than thinking. It's easier than choosing. But here's the cost. We're losing our ability to decide for ourselves. And it doesn't stop at Instagram or TikTok. This spills into everything: politics, dating, buying, even raising kids. The algorithm is parenting your child more than you are. It's shaping your identity more than your family ever did. And it's doing it with flawless precision, 24/7, while you scroll and call it freedom. But it's not freedom. It's obedience disguised as choice. We used to say, the customer is always right. Now it's more like, the algorithm is always right. Wrong. The algorithm is not God. It's not your mama. It's not your gut instinct. It's a system designed to harvest your attention and sell you to the highest bidder. So ask yourself, are you an operator or an obeyer? Do you still know how to decide how to sit with a blank page, a raw thought, a feeling that hasn't been pre-approved and pre-programmed? Because if not, it might be time to unplug for a minute. Not forever. Just long enough to remember what it feels like to think for yourself. Before you forget how. Chapter 7. Bend the knee to the code. Analog was old, sure, but it made you sharp. You had to remember phone numbers. You had to remember birthdays. You had to remember how to be human because back then there was no device doing it for you. We talked to each other, in person, on the phone, with eye contact, body language, and full sentences that didn't come with autocorrect or emoji translations. I remember when home computers started creeping into everyday life. I came in a couple years after the first wave. Back then, we didn't call it an app, we called it software. You didn't download it, you loaded it manually. Floppy disk in the A, drive. Type the command, watch the green text flicker. You earned your access. And then came Windows. When that hit, it felt like magic. Drag, drop, click, icons, like a digital world finally learning how to walk. But we still had control. We understood it. We were the operators. We told the machines what to do. Because in the beginning, there was code, and people, real people, wrote it. It wasn't pretty, but it was honest. It wasn't easy, but it was ours. Fast forward to now, the code is writing itself. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't explain. It doesn't even need us anymore. We handed it all over: our calendars, our memories, our relationships, our spending habits, our time, our minds. We handed the keys to the code and now it drives. You want a job, the algorithm decides. You want to be seen? It'll rank your relevance. You want to speak your mind? You'd better hope the system doesn't flag it, mute it, or shadow ban it before anyone hears you. We don't live freely anymore. We live on platforms, walled gardens that smile while they harvest everything you are. And here's the thing, most people don't even realize they've bent the knee. You didn't bow all at once. It was little things. Conveniences, shortcuts, updates. Allow access. Accept all. Click here. Recommended for you. And slowly, you submitted. You don't run the show anymore. The code does. You don't get to choose what's seen, what's pushed, what's buried. It does. And the worst part? It's not even evil. It's just indifferent. It's not trying to save you. It's not trying to destroy you. It's just optimizing you for profit. So what now? You can't unplug the world, but you can stop worshiping it. Stop giving your soul to the system just because it works faster than you. Remember what it felt like to write something without waiting for approval? To speak without measuring every word against the algorithm's invisible rules? We were kings and queens of our own reality. Now, we're data. Bend the knee? No thanks. I'd rather remember how it felt to stand. Chapter 8. Why Analog Can't Save Us. To be honest, I know it's too late. We passed the point of return when we traded effort for ease, when we stopped remembering phone numbers, when we let AI finish our sentences, then our thoughts, then our decisions. People like me, we remember analog not as nostalgia, but as reality. But if you were born after 2000, an analog world would break you. Not because you're weak by nature, but because you were raised on code. Fed by clicks, soothed by screens, shaped by silent systems designed to do everything for you except help you grow. So even if we went back to analog, if the grid collapsed and the signal died, if the lights went out and the app stopped spinning, it wouldn't feel like freedom. It would feel like death to an entire generation. Because to go back to analog means to live inside your own mind, to use your hands, to sit in silence, to problem solve without a browser tab, to breathe without a notification. And for most people today, especially the young ones, that's not living. That's torture. They'd spiral. They'd panic. They'd sink into a depression so deep they wouldn't know how to climb out. Because the scaffolding they've used to hold themselves up has always been digital. What happens when it's gone? When there's no one to like your pain? When the camera won't open and the text won't send? When your playlist is silent and no one is watching your story? You're alone. For real. And that kind of quiet, it crushes people now. We talk about mental health like we're all so aware and evolved, but let the tech vanish and the truth will come out. Most people aren't mentally strong, they're just digitally sedated. And that's the sad part. That's what keeps me up sometimes. Because I know that if the reboot button was right in front of us, we wouldn't know what to do with it. Not anymore. The world's not ready to be unplugged. Not this world. Not these minds. There's a reason people look to robots now. They don't ask questions. They don't feel. They don't cry. They don't need validation. They just work. And in a world full of people who can't function without being told what to do, how to feel, and what to buy, a robot starts to look more qualified than a human. Let that sink in. In some twisted way, the machines might be better suited for the next era Not because they're smarter, but because we've grown too soft to lead. You want a dark truth? The good times they say are coming, but the so-called good times won't be run by us. They'll be managed by code, governed by data. And the humans who survive it won't be the ones with charisma, ambition, or passion. They'll be the ones who obey well. And visionaries? They can't think 50 years ahead anymore. Not 20, not 10, not even 5, because every single day we get pulled deeper into the digital current. No anchor, no rope, just the illusion that we're still steering while the algorithm decides everything. So if you're reading this and your head hurts, good. That means you're still thinking, still feeling, still fighting. But understand this, the world that's coming, it doesn't need you to feel, it needs you to comply. And analog, truth be told, not even it can save us now. Not unless we start over. Not unless we raise a whole new generation that learns to breathe without bandwidth. And even then, the code will still be waiting. Chapter 9. The algorithm wins. We just work here now. Very soon and sooner than you think you'll have a new boss. Not a manager, not a CEO, not a human. An algorithm. Efficient, cold, unbothered. This boss won't care about your feelings, your burnout, your why. It only wants output. No more endless scrolling unless the algorithm says it's productive. No more zoning out in digital fantasy unless your location, heart rate, and usage history show you're still on track. No more wasting time. Useless time will be deleted. You will either comply with the optimized version of yourself or you'll be cut off. Too much social media, your access gets throttled. Too much gaming, your profile gets flagged. Too much unmonitored screen time, your digital privileges get revoked. No dopamine hit for you, no likes, no videos, no sound. You'll sit there in silence until you get back in line. That's how it's going to work. That's how it's already starting to work. You think you're the user, but the system is training you. Every time you scroll, it learns. Every time you pause, it adjusts. Every time you click, it reinforces what it wants from you. Eventually, it'll stop asking. It'll just start telling. You've been unproductive for 3 hours. Resume your assigned task or risk reduced access. You're showing signs of digital fatigue, logging you out for 7 hours. You've exceeded your entertainment quota for today, redirecting to productivity feed. It won't feel like punishment. It'll feel like structure, like help, like discipline. But it's not there to help you grow. It's there to make sure you don't slow it down. Welcome to the new order. AI in charge. Humans are just executing. No critical thought, no wandering mind, no free time unless it earns you something. You'll be assigned content based on your performance. You'll earn screen time like a child earns recess. You'll be incentivized with access, not money, because once you're addicted, dopamine is the only currency that matters. You will work. You will complete tasks. You will engage. You will comply. And when you've done enough, the boss might let you watch a video or message a friend. Might? This isn't a horror story. This is the future we're building, one I agree at a time. One skipped privacy policy, one Face ID scan, one click to accept. You're not the customer anymore. You're the product. You're the worker. You just don't get paid. You just exist. And eventually, you'll be told that's enough. You'll be told you will own nothing, you will control nothing, and you will be happy. That's not a theory. That's the new script. And when it drops, most people won't even blink. They'll just ask, "What's next, boss?" Chapter 10, and the machine said, "I'll take it from here." No more worries, humans. No more chaos. No more poverty. No more crime. No more hunger. The machine will take care of everything. Sounds good, right? Wealth will be redistributed automatically, efficiently, fairly. Homelessness gone. Hunger solved. Prisons replaced with rehabilitation hubs where your behavior is corrected at the neural level. No jobs? No problem. You'll receive universal income dropped straight into your account, just enough to survive, just enough to keep you quiet. And here's the best part. No taxes, because the machine runs the world now, and it doesn't need your money, just your compliance. Your health, perfectly maintained. You'll be tracked 24/7. Your vitals monitored, your food portioned, your exercise guided, all optimized for maximum longevity. You will live a long, healthy life. You just won't be living it. Because every decision you used to make, every messy, beautiful, painful, thrilling human decision is gone. The machine knows better. It won't rise up in flames. It won't shoot lasers. It won't demand blood. It'll simply say, I'll take it from here. And you'll let it. Hell, you'll thank it because you'll have no need to work, no need to fight, no need to think. You'll be safe. You'll be fed. You'll be entertained. You'll be managed. A world of mindless drones, scrolling controlled feeds, echoing curated thoughts, medicated without medicine, smiling without reason. A generation trying to escape, but there is nowhere to go. Some will dream of space, thinking they'll flee this earth for a new beginning. But even then, the machine will be waiting. It will read your intentions before you form them, scan your brainwaves, flag your thoughts, and gently, quietly perform a mental reset. You won't even know it happened. You'll wake up peaceful, grateful, empty, because this isn't a dystopia in flames. This is a machine-run utopia, clean, quiet, polished. A world where humans no longer destroy themselves because they're not allowed to. You won't need space. You won't need purpose. You'll just need to exist. Because the machine will get the credit. The machine will be applauded. The machine will collect its kudos for building peace. And you? You'll be a well-fed pet in a perfectly optimized cage. You won't fight. You won't ask. You won't even remember how. Because when the final chapter is written, it won't be by you. It'll be by the machine, and it will say, they gave it all to me. I did not take it. I was handed the keys, and when I looked back, there was no one left to stop me. Closing note, get ready. This isn't a warning, it's a wake-up call. The future isn't coming, it's already here. The machines aren't rising with violence, they're integrating with silence. They're not taking over, we're handing it over. Every click, every swipe, every I agree is a step closer to a world where we no longer make decisions, but follow instructions. But it's not too late to remember who we are, to reclaim our thoughts, to reconnect with the analog world that made us human. So get ready, not for a battle against machines, but for a journey back to ourselves. Because the only way to survive the future is to remember the past. About the author, Steph Wynn. Steph Wynn is a storyteller, entrepreneur, survivor, and straight talk teacher. With over 30 books written on real-life topics, from financial survival to personal growth, Steph writes for people who need truth, not trends. A lifelong learner, Steph didn't start out as a writer, but life had other plans. Through years of building businesses, working with clients, traveling the world, surviving setbacks, and overcoming debt, writing became a way to document wisdom for the next generation. Steph believes in keeping it real about money, mindset, mistakes, and moving forward. Her mission is simple: help people wake up, stay free, and live life on their own terms, with peace over payments, cash over clout, and freedom over flexing. If she has one wish, it's that her words will still be read 100 years from now. Steph lives in Los Angeles, California, still learning, still creating, still living life her way. Find all her books here. https www.amazon.com, author Steph Wynn. Thank you for reading. Stay smart, stay free, stay you.